So a customer brings me this QA-800 saying that it's blowing fuses. The rear right channel is blowing fuses. And I'm like, yeah, sure, I know what the problem is. It's blown transistors. Blown transistors create a short and they blow the fuses out. So, okay, so I tracked down this as to the rear right channel. And I noticed right away that all of the thermal grease is completely gone on both channels. Right? So I'm like, okay, yeah, he overdriv it overheated, and it blew. I have to unsolder all these transistors out, because I don't even screw in, they're soldered in. Got them all out, got rid of the original mica. The mica was all cracked and destroyed, and I replaced them with silicone thermal pads. So now that'll never happen again. Cleaned them up. So while they were out, I checked them. They checked it fine. So I was like, okay, so not blown output transistors. So I'm thinking, maybe the driving transistors are blown. And they're, when they blow, they'll drive these into DC output and blow the fuses. It'll overdraw. So I checked these, and they all tested fine. So I'm like, okay, maybe there's a short on the filtering side that's driving the driving transistors into full drive, and then driving the output transistors into the DC rail and overdrawing. I check all the capacitors, they test fine. So then I go, okay, maybe there's something wrong with the bias, where the bias is messed up, and it's biasing to the the limit of the voltage, and then it's driving these transistors to drive these all the way into the DC rail and then overdraw. So I already pulled it, but here, hold on. I pulled out this trimming pot, and it was in the mega ohm range. Okay, right? It was in the mega ohm range when I checked it. And this is supposed to be between 0 and 50 ohms. It was completely out. So now I know that just because you're blowing fuses doesn't mean that you have blown transistors. It could be a bad trimming pot that's just messing up the bias and making it overdraw and blow the fuses. Alright?